Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today we're going to be looking at two state polls from the New York Times / Siena College in Pennsylvania and Virginia, and we're going to be looking at the crosstabs and what they show for the 2024 election. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And guys, I did say we are going to, for the next week, so from basically today till Saturday, we are doing a moment of silence for Corey and the people that were injured, as well as, for President Trump's safety. So we are going to be doing that right now. Alright guys, and now we are going to continue with the video. And so at this point we see, right, Donald Trump at this point, to be honest guys, really is getting close. You'd even argue that states like New Jersey, based off the current model that I have, are getting competitive as well. Even a state like Colorado is opening up for President Trump to get. And what's very interesting guys is my model in Pennsylvania has it as a pretty big victory. It's actually like anywhere from like, a 10 to 11 point win in Pennsylvania. My model in Virginia has it pretty close. I think it's like a tilt Republican margin. My actual predictions would probably be 8 points in Pennsylvania, maybe like a point in Virginia. And I'm going to show you something really interesting. We can actually go to my On Point Politics website. We'll actually see right here, if we load up the map, that my margin in Pennsylvania already was R+7, and my margin in Virginia was 1. So those are actually exactly what I just said right now. And so when we go ahead and look at these, what's really fascinating is what these polls actually do, because what they do, basically they do likely and registered voter screens. We're using likely voters for this. These polls just dropped today. What they do is they pull a sample with third-party candidates, and what they do is they go back to 2020 to find a sample for the state. So Biden in the sample is leading by 14 points. And we see here in 2020, Joe Biden won the state by 10. So it's actually oversampling Democrats in the sample. So it's about a 4-point overestimation. So if you were apply the adjusted, basically the adjusted error to the poll, Trump actually leads by 2 points in the state of Virginia, which is roughly what I've been saying for the past couple of months. And when we look at Pennsylvania, Trump leads the sample by 2. The 2020 sample has him winning by 6 points. And we look here, the actual result in the state was 1.2% for Biden. That's a 5-point shift. So when you apply that, it actually gives Trump a 7-point victory in Pennsylvania, which is exactly what I already had in my model right here. So it's just, guys, everything is lining up to Donald Trump winning the election in an electoral college landslide. It's just very apparent that when you have high quality data, collection that actually uses real voter files, because when we do our polls, we don't necessarily have real voter files yet. So when we do our 2020 sample, it's like a little annoying to do them because they're not always 100% accurate. But that's roughly what we are getting in these states now when you have high quality samples with real voter files, because they actually have to track back to the samples and they actually have the real data from voters. And it shows Biden winning by 14 in 2020 in Virginia and Biden +6 in Pennsylvania. So when you adjust for the error, you get Trump up by 2 in Virginia and Trump up by 7 in Pennsylvania. And that's roughly what I have on my website right now. That would indicate states like Michigan or Wisconsin are in the likely column. That would indicate that Nevada would be in the likely column, as well as Arizona. Nebraska second would probably be lean at that point. Colorado, if we were really seeing that big of a shift, a 12-point shift in Virginia to the right, that means states like Colorado are probably lean Democrat, like I've been saying for months. New Jersey is definitely within reach. New Hampshire at that point is probably flipped, including a Minnesota. And a Maine at large at that point has also probably even flipped, including a New Mexico. So it's, guys, all the data is pointing to Trump winning, because a Virginia +2 for Trump would be a 12-point shift to the right. Pennsylvania +7 for Trump, that would end up being around like a basically an 8 or 9 point shift to the right. That's around, a 10 or 11 point shift on average. And if you were to shift all those states by that amount, this is roughly what you would get based on the average shift. Like, it is actually insane how much this has shifted. Maybe New Jersey would still be above 5, but due to their Hispanic and African American population and the fact that Trump is gaining with those voters, I expect the state to move to the right more than the national average. Colorado probably maybe is likely, but New Mexico more than likely would flip in this scenario because there is still a decent amount of African and Hispanics in the state. And if Donald Trump were to be winning it by 2, a big reason for his victory probably would be those minority demographics. And New Mexico actually has a pretty large amount of a Hispanic electorate. So that's why you would see states like that move. If Virginia is flipping, more than likely New Mexico probably does too, considering I expect it to trend to the right of the nation, including Minnesota as well. So guys, the entire polling data from these 2 states points to Donald Trump winning in an electoral college landslide. It is just very apparent. And when you look at the registered voter crosstabs, it's actually even more crazy. When you look at the registered voter crosstabs, Biden leads by 2 with the third-party candidates included. And when you go ahead and look at this, you see Kamala Harris leads by a little bit more. But at that point, it wouldn't even matter because when you, oh, wow, look at that. Kane's ahead by, oh, wow, Kane by 18. Geez, even with the sample shifting it to the right, that's still really bad. We see 61% white, 6% Hispanic, African American, 17% of the electorate. So that's a big deal. We see Asians by 5% of the electorate. We see independents, 32%. Democrats are majority of the electorate. And we see here Biden is ahead by 15 in the registered voter sample. So if you were to apply that shift to the poll, Trump would actually be leading Virginia by 3 in the registered voter crosstabs. And when you go to Pennsylvania registered crosstabs, when you go over here, you actually see Donald Trump in the third party matchup leads by 3 points. And when you look at the 2020 sample, you actually see Biden leads by 8. So if you apply that 7-point shift, that brings you the Biden +1 sample from 2020. If you apply that to Trump +3, that ends up giving you a 10-point victory in the state of Pennsylvania. So everything is lining up to Donald Trump winning these states by really big amounts that I've been saying this entire time. I've been saying it for months that these states are going to be, in the safe/likely column for President Trump. And it seems like with this polling data, that has been reconfirmed once again. And when you even look at this, if you were to have to get Virginia and Pennsylvania to flip by that amount, right? Let's say, Asians go down. I believe Biden maybe possibly wins Asians by maybe 5 points. Polling indicates Trump would win them, but I think it might go down to maybe a 5-point win. If African Americans go down to +60, so like an 80-20 split, not really factoring in third-party candidates, which would actually give Kennedy even more of a boost. So maybe it's actually like a 50-point difference. If we go to Hispanics and we basically shift them at this point, I would even say they're tied roughly, or Trump probably even wins them outright nationwide at this point. And if whites end up being like a 23-point victory, you get 361 electoral college votes for Donald Trump. That's exactly what you get, and the popular vote is a 10-point victory as of right now, just based on that. And the other vote would probably be like R +15. That flips Colorado. That's 371. And Pennsylvania here, you would actually see the state of Pennsylvania in this matchup would be like a 12-point win, which is similar to the registered voter sample. And when you go to Virginia, it actually ends up being like a likely victory. So maybe this is like really overdoing it, but this is basically the demographics that I would basically guess for the election. Like if I had to guess what the demographics are, that's basically what we're looking at right now. And I mean, my model has Donald Trump up in the popular vote by 9 and getting like a little bit less than this. So it's not like this is like the craziest result. So this is roughly what you would be looking at in terms of a demographic model. And states like Illinois, Delaware would be close, like Maine at large flips, Colorado, New Jersey flips. So definitely all the data is pointing to Donald Trump winning, Pennsylvania and Virginia by large amounts. Not necessarily Virginia, but definitely there is a huge shift in these states compared to 2020. You're talking about a 9-point shift in Pennsylvania and a 12-point shift in Virginia. That is some really crazy shifts in those states. And I guarantee you at this point that Donald Trump will win in an electoral college landslide. And that is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys did enjoy this, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more content just like this. And make sure to go ahead and donate to our Michigan and Pennsylvania poll crowdfunding. We are going to be conducting polls in these states as of right now, so any support would be greatly appreciated. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to go ahead, support down below. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.